Well, guys, spring is here and time to start mowing and weed eating and all of that stuff. And this is one of Ginger's favorite lawn ornaments.
No, it's not.
No, it's not, she says. And so a little fun project I'm going to do this time around is I'm going to kind of take that thing apart, get it cleaned up and painted, and maybe Ginger won't hate it so bad.
Probably will.
There it is beforehand if you want to take a quick walk around it. This thing is like a mid-50s micro sprint from here in northwest Pennsylvania. And it was given to my son by his grandpa, God, years and years and years ago. Well, Justin has since moved out on his own. Him and his wife have decided they do not want it at their house.
I wonder why.
And I just can't get rid of it. So, in pure...
That's not true. People come here all the time. Look at our dogs. People come here all the time asking to buy it.
They do, but I can't part with it. And in true Westman one-stall garage fashion, we are going to clean that thing up and give it a coat of paint, make it kind of look like a rusty old ratty micro sprint rod, if that makes sense. So that's it. Take a look at it. I'm going to take that thing apart and I'll see you guys with that in the garage. All right, everybody, my name is the Westman, and we have that micro sprint body back into my one-stall garage. I got the tail in and the hood in, part of the chassis, the cage that goes around the tail, it's sitting outside still, and the rest of it is in the yard. So the part of the chassis that's in the yard, we're going to clean that up out there and hose it down with some paint out there. We're going to sand this down and kind of trying to match our house some with it this time. So we are going to do a dark brown on the chassis and this smoky beige on the hood and the tail. We'll get to sanding. I'll put you up on a time lapse so I can sand that down for you. Went and gone ahead and got it scuffed down. Found a spot. I'm not looking for a show car finish on this thing or anything. Put some primer on it. And I'll probably scuff that down lightly and then we're just gonna spray paint it. This thing has got so many holes in it from different applications over the years. It wasn't complete when we got it, 25 years ago probably, and it's just been yard art since I moved in here. I've been at this house for 20 years and it's been sitting out there in the front yard. When we unloaded it out of the truck, that's where we put it. some of these spots I'm down to the fiberglass. There's some red. I don't know if you've seen me pointing it out. You can still see some of it. There's some black. Those are some sort of graphics. Looks like it might have been a star up here. There was this red, which could be primer, I guess. Then there was some dark, almost like a brownish red on top of that. And then probably, oh God, 5 years ago maybe, I rattle canned that white on there. I didn't sand nothing, I just rattle canned it. So we're going to do a better job this time. So, with no further ado, let's get some primer on this, and while it's dry and setting up, we'll start sanding on that one. This will make Ginger hate it a lot less. It's been looking pretty bad for a while now. I think my dog wants in. I think it's Reggie. Let's see what Reggie wants. I've got sanding dust and primer everywhere. So, tail's right there, got that sanded and in primer. The hood's behind you can't see that right now. Also in primer. So I am going to let that one dry up. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. But cranking up this heater here, pretty noisy when you got the camera going. So I'm going to crank that up and let it warm up a little bit more in here so I can get that one dried. I'm going to start scuffing on that one and bring you back, see what's next. If I was an auto body channel, I would probably do a lot more work to this, but I'm not. Hood doesn't look too bad, aside from all the holes that are drilled in it. These two pieces were definitely on different cars at some point. Different material. This was a really dark gray once we sanded down through it and got to the tail, to the fiberglass. That one is white down in the fiberglass. This one also, the tail had green paint and blue paint underneath the white that I put on some years back, and then which was just spray bomb, which is what this new one's going to be. But under that white there was a brownish, dark brownish, reddish thing, and then a red, and that was the same on both the nose and the tail. But then on the tail, underneath that red, was some green and blue. So who knows? I don't know the history on the car except for the fact that it was built locally. I said mid-50s, I think, is what I was told, but I don't know for sure. I do know that it obviously had different engine configurations in it, unless that is all cut out for just air, for cooling the engine. But I don't know what kind of engine it would have been. Briggs & Stratton, some sort of a motorcycle engine, something, a Kohler of some sort, chains, I don't know, I have no idea. Has a sprocket on the back axle, so it is a chain-driven machine. That's all I can tell you. So we're gonna let this dry and get back to you. Bye. Well, we are gonna put a little bit of paint on this thing. This stuff is called Smoky Gray. No, it's not. Smoky Beige. Rust-Oleum. I don't know that I like this. I used this one time before, and not the Smoky Beige, but this Rust-Oleum 2X. And didn't really care for it. So we shall see. I can get this into my garbage can. You thought I had a regular bodywork prop station. It's just my garbage can. So I'm going to scuff down this tail, and I'm going to get a new piece of sandpaper that I can hold on to. It'll be just fine. I'm going to flip this paper over, go over to the other side one more time, and wipe her down. I just can't keep a hold of anything. I went ahead and fogged on a little light coat and then let it flash. I already sprayed the other side, but man, you can really see those pinholes and all the stuff from the fiberglass coming out now. It's a wreck. But when you're driving by my house in your car and you see this from the road, 25 or 30 feet back off the road, speed limit is 55 past my house, you'll say, wow, that's cool. You'll never see those pinholes driving by in your car. Now this is flat, no, satin. Satin smoky beige. I'm going to try to get a little bit more on the top if I can. That's where the sun will beat down on it the most. The whole chassis. I'm going to hand sand, maybe get the wire brush out there because it's still in here. I can't pick it up anymore. It would come apart, I think, but I'm going to go over that with a wire brush and some sandpaper, and it's going to be dark brown. It's going to look great. Put a whole can on the hood, whole can on the tail. It'll probably be a few days before I can get back out here. It is 12:30, and I am going to wrap things up for the night. I'll pick this thing back up when I get ready to get some of that chassis work done on it. It is pretty darn windy out today and cold. Try to get one more little coat finished up on this. This is the tail piece, covers up the tail cage. A little bit right there. How's that? Yeah, I'm just finishing up the last coat, Vic. Did I miss anything? A blind man on a fast horse will never know when they're going down the road that this wasn't professionally done by Chip Goose. Now you'll notice I didn't do this or this. This is all covered up by the body, and so you'll never see most of that. And I only got 2 cans of paint, so this is the end of the second one. The old wishbone front suspension, these triangulated links in the back. You know, for such an old piece of racing history, it's still would have been really high tech for back in the day. Those actually have bleeders on them. I'm not sure what you call those, some sort of cage of some sort that locates that rear end of that axle, actually. And there's the big sprocket I was telling you. This thing was chain driven back in the day, but actually did have a actual steering gearbox, and that rod came from here on the spline shaft down to here. Old brake pedal or gas pedal, one of the two right there. Just a splash. Okay, let's let that dry up a little bit. We're gonna let that dry and see if we can get the body back on it before the sun goes down. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get the body, the hood and the tail, and take that out and put it on there. They've been dried for, well, I guess it's the next weekend, so we're gonna get those and take them out and put them on. Let's see what happens. It seems that everybody likes to get a little bit of tail. For the hood. the hood, and it's kind of a ratty race car. Does that make it a hood rat? You get it, hood rat? Let's get that rear cage. We all want to keep our tail protected. I don't know about you, but to me that looks really good. Get the mulch. Get the mulch. You'd think that 2 would be enough. 3 is probably better. But 4, now, 4 is going to be just the ticket. Now can I pick it up and move it? Oh yeah. Now as long as I don't dump it. Got my mulch there. Got that race car there. Yeah, that's gonna look good. Now, we're supposed to have a freeze warning tonight. Well, we do have a freeze warning. We're under a freeze warning. So we want to put a plant in there. We're not going to do that today because we don't want it to die. Wow, I think that is fantastic. Let me take a walk around that. All right, Ginger just took some cheeseburgers off the grill up there, so I've got to get in the house and get my burgers before they're cold. Just want to let you take one last look at it. Think it turned out really good, and Ginger and I are pretty pleased. She hates it a lot less. So I'm going to get in there and eat my cheeseburger, and she made some pasta salad, so I'm going to get on to that and then finish editing this video. Man, look at that. Pasta salad, cheeseburger on the grill. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in with me this time. Got that micro sprint out there in the yard, got it all torn apart, got it painted, got it put all back together, and it's looking really good. So thanks. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Boom.